everyone. Welcome to another week of Tea and Biscuits with Shahin and John. As usual, we will be reviewing our biscuits and having our tea. This week, we have invited Lewis for a tea and biscuit session, as well as to do a review on a movie that he watched. We'll start off with our normal biscuit reviews. So this week, I am having this biscuit. It's a very minty one. I was calling it Viscount until Lewis corrected me. The Queen's English is meant to be a Viscount, I believe. But you know what? Whatever the name is, it's a good biscuit. So
that's it. Silent.
It's a fully chocolate covered biscuit with a minty inner bit. It's a bit like the Club. I don't know if anyone's had the Club biscuit or the Penguins that we have in the UK, but it's very similar taste to that. John, which biscuit?
Oh yeah. So I've kind of gone for a classic. I'm pretty sure most people know this. It's called Jammy Dodgers. I mean, I just like the biscuit just for the name. They must have been brilliant to just come up with this name, Jammy Dodgers. It sounds like you're actually cursing someone, but it's actually a biscuit. So just for that reason, this biscuit is awesome.
Do you actually break it in half and have it, or do you dunk the entire biscuit?
I actually don't dunk this biscuit either, because the biscuit's like shortbread, so it gets a bit too soggy. It's not like the digestive biscuits. Yeah. So I just eat it by
You never dunk your biscuits.
Apart from the digestive, I think most other biscuits I never tend to dunk.
Okay. Lewis, over to you. You also got biscuits.
Hi everyone. So for the first session I've joined, I've brought along some Fox's Melts. They are a Viennese chocolate in the same fashion that Jammy Dodger. They're kind of shortbreads, two shortbread layers in between, sandwiching a nice layer of chocolate. It's a lovely, lovely biscuit. Again, on the dunking theme, I'm not a dunker, and I have tried dunking this, and it doesn't last very well. So it's much nicer without dunking.
See,
very Moorish.
Biscuits is quite dangerous. I get through a whole box on my own, so that's why I can't stay away from
well, I mean, there are other brands that do these Viennese. I mean, Marks and Spencer's do a very nice brand of this, but to be honest, this is the Fox's one, and it's not dissimilar in terms of quality. So, but they are easily Moorish, though. You could go for a whole packet.
So yeah. Just one biscuit.
I mean, half of this is already over. You know, I was supposed to actually show the unopened packet, but I just couldn't wait, so I had a few already.
Thanks for the biscuit reviews. Now, Lewis, this is going to be one of your first reviews that you're doing, and we thought we'd make it a bit challenging for you, and we asked you to watch a Bollywood movie. It wasn't one of the new Bollywood movies. It was an old classic Bollywood movie, but it's one that I thought you would like. Over to you now for your review.
So when you told me that you'd like me to review a Bollywood movie, to be honest, you guys all talk about Bollywood, and I've never really been involved. I've never watched anything, so this would have been my first time watching a Bollywood movie. So I was up for it. You said it'd be a sort of, it's a cricket-based themed film. I used to play a bit of cricket when I was younger, so there was obviously a natural sort of linkage for me to sort of like interact with the film anyway. I found it was 3 hours 43 minutes, which to me was a long film anyway. And if I wasn't really getting it at the start, I thought this is going to just drag on. But I found that it did go really, really quickly. So in terms of the duration, maybe it was too long, but it was still a good, enjoyable film.
Yeah, the name of the film.
Oh, sorry, you know what? I haven't done that. So you asked me to review Lagaan, which was a 2000 film, and it had some English actors in it. So it wasn't wholly Bollywood. So obviously there was a lot of Hindi in it with English subtitles. And I was a bit apprehensive about the subtitles. Am I going to enjoy a film that I have to read all the way through? But do you know what? It was so easy to actually read the subtitles and still enjoy the film. There's a lot of aspects to it that I didn't enjoy. Like, I'm not a big musical type fan, and I know a lot of Bollywood films, there is a lot of, you know, acting, sort of mixed in with, you know, dancing and singing. That type of thing doesn't appeal to me. But there wasn't a huge amount of it, and it was all sort of hindered around what I thought was a really good, enjoyable plot. You know, in somewhat predictable way. You know, you thought there was going to be the goodies always kind of come out as a winner. There was aspects. I mean, there was a lot of themes in there that were going on. Sort of, there was a love story between some of the main characters. There was obviously discrimination. There was obviously some anti-colonialism in terms of the fact there was a British rule in India, and the way that the locals were treated. So there was a lot of things going on. I think it was done really well. It was a really enjoyable film. So you know, as a rating, I'm going to give it 3 out of 5.
Okay. What do you think about the ending? I mean, you don't have to reveal the ending, but one of the main things about that movie is the climax. It's supposed to be pretty brilliant. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it took me back to the 2019 World Cup. It had that much tension in it, but in a way that I thought there was some predictability about it. There was still tension. You could still enjoy it, and you're getting gripped by, you know, every single ball that's coming in from both sides. There's loads of aspects to it that's really gripping.
Yeah. So Lewis, you gave it a 3 out of 5. There's one scene that sticks to me. I watched this many years ago. Is the way they invented the spin bowl. So
Yeah.
From the way they did that, but
that's another thing, right? So obviously the guy that was disabled that invented the spin bowling was basically an outcast, just wasn't accepted by his own community, and it was down to like the lead character to like try and get him involved, like Bhuvan, to try and get him into the team, include like, all that inclusiveness. And then it was obviously he had a skill that nobody else had. So obviously, totally being, you know, forgotten about by everyone, he had a skill that nobody else possessed.
Lewis actually remembered the name as well. That's quite impressive, Lewis.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Question for you, Lewis: would you watch another Bollywood movie?
I would. I mean, I know there's going to be aspects. I don't know if there's any Bollywood movies that don't have singing and dancing in. Other than that, I mean, I'm quite happy, like knowing that I can get through a movie. I'm not worried about the subtitles because obviously I don't understand Hindi. I'm not bothered by that. That wouldn't put me off watching another Bollywood movie.
Okay, fair enough.
We'll pick another one for Lewis. I think in the next guest chat, we should give him another one to review.
Okay.
Thanks, Lewis.
For that.
Our normal this week, our Netflix, Amazon Prime Hollywood movie that we'll be reviewing is one that we've watched actually a couple of weeks ago, and it's something that we've been meaning to review. It's Chris Hemsworth, Extraction. Now, I believe Netflix has just highlighted that it's one of their highest grossing watched movie, and it's all over social media about how Chris Hemsworth is, that he took part in that. Now, one of the interesting things about this movie is there's a lot of movies that you have crossover between Hollywood and Bollywood, and usually you still see a lot of Bollywood in it, or you see a lot of Hollywood, like Slumdog Millionaire. Even though it was done a lot in India, it was there was a lot of Hollywood part aspect to it. Extraction to me was slightly different. It felt like Chris Hemsworth is actually in a Bollywood movie, so having a major Hollywood star in a Bollywood movie, that's how it felt. Even though it wasn't a Bollywood movie, it was predominantly done in Bangladesh, and for Chris Hemsworth for him to get away from his poor profile and come and do this, for me, it was something that I had to watch. From the get-go, I'm always comparing, this guy is indestructible. No one can touch him. He's going to get his hammer anytime. But that didn't happen, obviously. I absolutely loved the action sequences. It was one after another. And though the Bollywood actor in there, I actually forgot his name, but he usually plays a villain in Bollywood. And he kind of a bit of a half and half. He was he was playing a good person as well as a bad person in the movie. But both of them gelled really well together, and the action sequences one after another. And for me, with my Bangladeshi background, it was amazing seeing Chris Hemsworth in Bangladesh at that time. So for me, I really enjoyed the movie, and I would recommend people to go and watch it, whether whatever review anyone gives to them, whatever rating people give to them, you should watch it and come up with your own rating. For me, I'd probably give it a 4 to 4.5 out of 5.
What's the premise of the film then?
So the premise of the movie is you have two drug lords, one in India, one in Bangladesh, and they've got a rivalry. And the son of one of the drug lords gets kidnapped by the other one. Chris Hemsworth's a mercenary. They hire him to come and
rescue the kid,
to rescue the child. Yeah.
But I 4.5 I think is a bit high for that movie. For me, I saw the movie and it was okay. There were good action sequences, but the plot and the storyline wasn't that great. And I actually think Chris Hemsworth, for the star that he is, he's quite bankable. So that's the reason they just put him on one of these movies and they just try to make an action movie out of it. It would have run anyway. Even if it was a really bad movie, it would have run because of him. And I think he can do a lot better in movies. It doesn't have to pick movies which are like that. I actually believe that the other guy, the Indian actor Randeep Hooda, he actually does a much better job in the movie. I find him a lot better as an actor in that. For me, that movie is not the greatest action movie that's out there. It is something that is watchable, but like one of the other movies on Netflix, it's something that they've done the action sequences and then they've tried to build a plot around it rather than have a plot and a story and you use the action, put the action sequences in. So for that reason, I only give it about 3 stars. I wouldn't give 4.5. So we have to give a combined rating then. So that's 4.5 plus 3 divided by 2. I think we should just give it 4 stars.
Okay, great. But let me ask you, John.
Biscuits, sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry. I keep forgetting that we are rating movies on Biscuits. It's actually 4 Biscuits.
Would you have watched this movie if Chris Hemsworth wasn't on it? Would you have enjoyed it?
No, I wouldn't have. No.
See, I would have actually enjoyed the plot, whether it was Chris or not. But having Chris there, to me, added the wow factor. There was a bit of comedy from him as well, because, we see him as this indestructible, Thor-like character normally. And for him to get beaten up the way he does. And he's got that sense of humor which he carries over from Avengers as well. He's just part of his character as well. So, I mean, I would have watched it with him or without him, but I think with him, definitely added to it.
Okay.
So, Lewis, one to watch for you. We know that you haven't seen it. Extraction on Netflix.
Okay.
Nice grossing. Everyone loves it except John. Just let you know, right?
I'll catch
It's
up
not
on
one of the better action movies, Lewis. It's okay.
Okay.
We'll get an update from Lewis at the next session about whether he enjoyed it or not.
Enjoyed it.
I'll give you an update. Yeah.
That's it from us this week. So just want to say, Lewis, thank you for joining us. And please, if it's the first one that you've watched, hit the like button and click on subscribe and look at some of the old ones that we've done. And please do provide us feedback. Thank you.
See you guys.
Cheers, guys.